Welcome to Anathea's Body Wisdom. I'm very excited because I have Dr. Patricia Deckert here with us today, and I'm going to be interviewing her about integrative medicine and then the specialty practice that you actually do. So before we get into that, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here in this beautiful area in San Diego.
Yes, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so I
very
want
nice
to find,
be
I
here.
mean, we're cousins. We're actually cousins. My sister, who is, I interviewed before, practices at Pat. I call her Pat. She's my cousin. So we interviewed my sister, and so now I'm going to be interviewing Pat. So I'm very excited to have
Well,
you.
thank you.
And I just wanted to find out a little bit more about your background and your education, because you have so much wisdom and so much knowledge.
Oh, thank you.
And just tell me a little bit about you as a doctor, what
Well,
your background is.
I always was interested in medicine, even as a child growing up, and I pictured becoming a nurse or something, but my dad was just adamant against doing that and wanted me to be a teacher. So I went to Michigan State for my undergraduate and became a biology teacher. But then I really wasn't happy in that. I still had this feeling I needed to be in medicine. So I started working for physicians, and I happened to get a job for a physician who was doing kind of integrative, it was called environmental medicine at the time, which is looking at the role of the environment on health. And I just was very blessed to be at the right spot in the right time when there was a lot happening in that whole field. This was 30 some years ago. So I listened and just, and I worked for several different physicians during that time, and each physician said to me, "You should have gone to medical school. You should have gone to medical school." And I thought, "Oh no, I'm not smart enough to go to medical school." And the third one I went to work with just was adamant that I go to medical school. So anyway, I went through a divorce and then moved to San Diego, remarried, and there was an osteopathic medical school starting in this area in San Diego, actually. And so I thought, well, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So I started pursuing going to that school, and then that never happened. They never opened. So the closest one to me was in Pomona. So I thought, well, maybe I should think about that. So I said something to my husband at the time and said, I'm thinking of becoming a doctor, but I'll be 45 years old by the time I finish this. And he says, "You're going to be 45 years old anyway."
I love that answer. That's a great
He
answer.
says, "Why don't you be 45 and be a doctor versus 45 and working for doctors?" So I thought, well, that's a good idea. So I went, applied, and got in, and I really felt it was some kind of divine intervention, because I'd been out of school for 20 some years, and for me to just get in as easily as I did was just had to be some kind of, this was supposed to be, it was a path I was supposed to take. So I did it and went to medical school and then started practicing in San Diego, and then I got it.
Can I interrupt
Yeah,
you for a
sure.
second, because I want to honor you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So you are another one that really, you had this impulse inside you, and society was telling you, "Oh no, you need to be this little person over here. That's just a support person because you're a woman." And your impulse, your soul was saying, "No, I want to be this."
There was a part of me that couldn't believe I could be that, but I was listening, and it, it just seemed to happen. And people look back at it and say, "How did you do that?" And I have no idea how I did that, because I had 2 children at the time.
Oh my
too.
gosh.
My children were 6 and 12 when I went to medical school, and I had to live up in Pomona during the week and commute back to Alpine on the weekends, and it was tough. But
I'm getting chills as you talk about this. So
Yeah.
your soul really wanted this.
Yeah, there was
This
a part of me that I knew I was not going to get off the hook without doing this. It was going to happen. It was just going to happen.
Okay.
And I'm glad I,
Great.
did it. I felt it was a true calling. If anyone felt like there was a calling, this was a true calling.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that I did it. And so when I started practicing, I was also in the midst of perimenopause. So I was 45 years old, and I was in the midst of and I learned nothing about how to treat menopause when I was going through medical school. At that time, it was just, here's your Premarin, or here's your birth control pill.
It was a disease.
And you treat it with a pill.
Wow.
So I remember a patient brought me an article, and the article was hormone replacement therapy, you have other options. And I thought, what other options? There's other options? And I just started listening and started looking into what those options were. And there were a lot, it was that, there were just a lot of things going on, kind of the underground of medicine. And I got real interested in that aspect of medicine. And I did it because I was suffering so much myself. So I was my own template to experiment
your own patient,
my own patient, and experimented on myself, learned a lot by what I could and couldn't take, and then I learned a lot over the years working with patients. So that was close to 25 years ago now. So that was, and so I worked with other doctors for a while, and then I went out on my own in 2001 and opened a practice called New Beginnings Healthcare.
Oh, great, great.
And that's what Dr. Krieg joined me.
So you're not an old-fashioned traditional doctor. You're more the integrative, wanting to blend the West with the East.
Right.
Great. And so are you doing a special type of practice right now?
Right now, what I did when I opened this practice called New Beginnings Healthcare, it's an integrative practice, and I had quite a large following, and
I can see why. You're such a sweetie.
thank you. And I really felt like I didn't want to just do hormones. I really wanted, the masses to experience, how to help them get healthier, not just hormonally healthy, but just healthier generally. So I opened this practice called New Beginnings because it was a new beginning for me, and I wanted it to be new beginnings for my patients. And I was doing HMO and PPO and Medicare, and I had several different providers working for me on and off through the years. But it was going to be very draining. It was very difficult to try to meet the demands of 3,000 or 4,000 patients. Wow. It was, so I had an opportunity where an organization approached me called MDVIP, and even though I'm not an MD, I'm a DO. I went to a meeting. They invited me to a meeting, and I went to the meeting, and they talked about that patients would pay a certain fee. And my first thought was, no way, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that. No. And but the more I listened, the more I thought, well, I think I'm worth it. And if people could pay a small fee, and the fee was $1,800 a year, which didn't seem like it's $150 a month. What do we spend $150 a month on? Coffee, for one thing, probably.
Right.
So anyway, I felt like it was within the reach of a lot of my patients. So 3 years ago, I kept the integrated practice, but me personally went into MDVIP. So now patients pay a fee, and for that fee, they have kind of my undivided attention. So instead of trying to take care of 3,000 patients, I'm taking care of about 200 or 300 patients.
Great.
And I'm able to really give them the kind of attention they deserve, and I practice truly holistic care for that group of patients. It may be hormones, it may be cardiovascular risk reduction, it may be cancer protection, it may be cancer treatment to an extent. I don't treat cancer totally, but I support a patient wherever they are and whatever they're going through, and
so
how I can help them.
What I'm hearing you say is you're really, for that, you're really their health/medical coach.
Absolutely. I'm their
so
coach.
It's you are here to support them both however they need it medically, as well as just lifestyle and health-wise.
Right.
And nutritional as well.
Right. So
Yeah.
I still have resources from the integrative side. So we have IVs on the integrated side, and I have lifestyle coaches, I have a massage therapist, I have a chiropractor. All that's the integrative side of my practice, which I'm still the medical director for that practice.
Right.
But in my practice, I just see this little group, I call it my little club, of my patients who have paid extra to have me manage their health care.
Yeah.
So I'm their coach, and they get my cell phone number, and they have me. It's kind of like having an attorney on retainer.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I want to, this is the way I really see myself practicing for the rest of my career, because I feel like this doesn't drain me dry. I can really offer the kind of care I want to offer and not have it drain me quite as much. I'm not saying I don't work hard.
No, she's a very hard worker, and I know her astrology. So, this club, and then we'll close out the interview.
Sure.
This club that sounds like a nice club to be in. What would you say is the perfect client that would be the perfect match, that would be interested in having your services and having you available to them?
I think it's somebody who feels like they have some health challenges that they can't get listened to, that might be going out and looking into going to alternative providers to get that kind of help. You know, if they have somebody like someone like me who could help them with the integrative, you know, more holistic approach and the medical approach. So it's the person who has probably some health challenges. Most of my patients are over 65, but it doesn't mean I don't love having those younger patients that just want to be healthier. And I have, you know, I have several younger patients, but I would say the majority of my patients are seniors that really, you know, need someone to help them transition this path as they age and as they come up with certain health challenges.
So really proactive and supportive, and not just here's a pill.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I love this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's transformational, and that is actually what we need, because it's not rejecting the traditional medicine, but it's integrating it into a healthy lifestyle as well, and helping people have that, and giving them the support that they need. And I think having a medical background is also, and even no matter how traditional we want, or non-traditional we want to be, and have, you know, do the herbs and do the nutrition, it's still always nice to know, oh my gosh, you know, that you have that background that you have is, oh my gosh, I need to have that, and to know that, you know, you have the pathways for the traditional, but you're not going to push that patient into that pathway. You're going to give them these other options and give them more power.
Absolutely.
Actually give them more power with their connection with their body.
Amen. For sure.
Okay, great.
Thank
We'll end this with amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
You're welcome.
And thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here today.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Namaste. Oh, we need to get your website.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so if people, well, for this club, I think that we want to have people get a hold of you. So where can they contact you?
They can contact me through the MDVIP website. So you can go to mdvip.com, and then you ask for providers in San Diego, and I'll come up on that.
Okay,
mdvip.com. There will, and go to San Diego providers, and I will show up on there.
Okay.
And then also I have my own website for my practice, which is newbeginningshealthcare.com.
Okay, newbeginningshealthcare.com. If you want a new,
Which I'm being told in the background here that it's newbeginningshealthcare.net.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's newbeginningshealthcare.net. If you want a new beginning. And that's what we really need, are people that are willing to be courageous enough to say, my body's important, and I want a new way than just a pill to fix me. You're here to help.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Well, thank you.
you.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that.
thank
Namaste.
You. Namaste.